Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Bundi, aka the Wellness Doctor. For those of you who are already subscribed, thank you so much for returning to my channel and for all the love and support. For those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. I make content on mental health and wellness, and please, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. It's free, it costs nothing to subscribe. So basically what I would like to talk about today is something very, very important. But before I get into that, this video is in partnership with a brand called Inuka. So Inuka is a wellness brand, and what they do is they provide online coaching. So they are able to align you with a professional coach, and just through your phone, guys, through your phone, they can be able to do some one-on-one coaching. For as little as 600 shillings, they can give you a session for 1 hour with a professional coach. So guys, if you're really interested in this, I'll put details in the description box below on how to contact Inuka. But without further ado, let's get right into today's video. So guys, as I said in the intro of the video, today we are talking about sobriety. And I use the word sobriety because I don't want to use labels, addiction, sijui what. This channel has a positive outlook, and that's why I'm calling it a story and a journey of sobriety. And so I have these two amazing gentlemen with me. They are close friends of mine I've known for very many years, and they're here to tell us their stories. And I'll start with you, Njoroge. What story are you here to tell us?
So for me, Dr. Bundi, I think I consider my journey to sobriety a reclamation of my life, reclaiming back my life and starting anew, starting afresh.
Starting afresh, I love that. And for you, Edgar?
For me, it's refreshment of what life is about, what people bring to the table, what I bring to the table as well. And I think just looking forward to happier times. Yeah.
All right, so basically when I was being taught in school, because I always try to bring what I'm taught to this channel, we're always told that every struggle starts with experimenting. And I wanted to know, how did before things got bad, you must have been experimenting and having a good time. How was that like? And when did you start experimenting with alcohol?
I think I started experimenting with alcohol as a young guy. I used to hang out with older guys in our estate, so that was like class 6. So that's when I began. And in fact, for most of my classmates now going into Form 1, class 8, Form 1, I'm the one who introduced them to drinking. So it began very early for me. Yeah.
All right, yeah. And so now we've heard from him, it started quite early. When did you start experimenting?
For me, I think that was the year 2000. Family function, where an auntie and uncle calls you, onja hii kitu kali, onja hii soda kali, but later on in life, please don't take it, it's not nice for you. So that started off with Reds in the can. And I remember it was towards that celebration of the millennium year. So that's when it started. And then I didn't do it for a while after that until I got to IB. So when I got to IB and I think we started going out to clubs, then is when I'd have a beer or two here and there. Yeah.
So you guys, one thing Kenyans are known for is that we can drink.
Yes.
We love to drink. In fact, I think growing up, I used to love those Tusker ads. Like, they were the best thing ever. And there's somebody who said on Twitter the other day that Kenyans glorify drinking so much, such that we don't even realize when things are becoming a problem.
Yeah.
For you, do you feel like there's a point where you knew there was a problem, but guys just thought, we're having a good time? Did you feel like, I know I'm struggling, but nobody could see because we're all having a good time? Was that your experience?
Well, I think so, yeah. In fact, towards the end, when I was now contemplating quitting, I could feel it becoming a problem because I used to get some sort of anxiety in social situations. If I know I don't have, first, number one, enough money to drink, I'm like, I know the money I have wouldn't get me drunk. So now that's a problem. So I know I won't enjoy myself. And then I ask myself, why am I feeling this way? Must I really drink to get to a stupor? So that is the point when I started, when it became, going out became about the drinking more than the socializing. So that's when I realized, okay, I could have a problem here. Yeah.
And everybody else, were they noticing, Ama, there was a point where people were just going on with life and they're not seeing you struggling?
Well, at the beginning, people couldn't see. But what is apparent is that when you start over drinking, it starts being apparent to everyone else, to especially the people closest to you that you spend the most time with. So gradually, people will be like, "Ah, Njoro," you know, when people stop inviting you, like maybe for a fancy party, because they're like, "Hey, Njoro atachoma." That's when you realize, okay, now people are starting to see.
Notice. Yeah. For you, I don't know if you had the same experience where that internal conflict for you feel like you're drinking too much, but nobody is seeing and you're kind of like drowning. Did you ever have that experience?
Yeah, I had it in 2018. So mine was triggered by the loss of 2 friends in a span of 2 days.
Pole.
So I lost 2 friends in 2 days, and I remember prior to that happening, I was actually sober for 2 months, and I told myself, no, I think I need to take a break and just see how things go. So I'd gotten to 2 months, and then by the time my second friend was passing, I remember telling my friend once we were done at the hospital and the body, the hospital had received the body. I told my friend I need to go to a bar now. And since then, my drinking sort of changed. I was drinking out of a lot of pain, and then I think the death of those 2 friends triggered a lot of pain that I had been holding on to. That was my own. So what would happen was I'd get to the bar and it's okay. The first thing I'd do is order 2 shots, and then I'll start drinking my beers. And then in the middle of drinking my beers, you know, it's always, I'd never say no to shots. Now, prior to all this, man, my drinking habits were very straightforward. I'd drink, I'd try my best not to get boozed, just tipsy, and then I quit it there, you know. Then I was also still at the end of the day taking care of people all the time. But now it got to points where people started taking care of me. You know, I drank a bit too much, and then had to be driven home. Yet I was that guy who knew where the limit was. I'd stop, you know, get guys home, then get myself home. But now it became apparent where I drink a bit too much, and I was easily now like, hey guys, I can't drive, take my keys. Take my keys, I'm not driving home. But, you know, getting to my place, you know, I'm staggering, so I have to be held and stuff like that. A few people did notice. They did mention, but it was mentioned like any other story. Hey, Jana, si Jamle, you lewad. Hey. And we just laugh about it and move on. But I'd be honest to say that when they said it, I felt guilty. I felt terrible. I'm like, oh my God, I messed up last night. I messed up. Oh my God. Now that means people will think differently of me. And I think at that time I was very, what do you call it? I used to count on what people used to say about me. You know, that used to affect me a lot, good or bad. It used to affect me. So yeah, it got to that point where now I think I didn't want to go that direction anymore, but other things came up that we can talk about.
Yeah. And I like, there's something so important you've mentioned. I keep saying that, you know, drinking a lot or using or having a habit is a symptom. It's not the actual disease.
Yes.
There's always something underlying, and you mentioned your friend passing away.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you feel like there is something that just pushed you in that direction and underlying the actual problem? Do you think that there was something that pushed you over to drinking too much?
Okay, first of all, I'll say this honestly. Me, I used to love drinking. I used to love what comes with drinking. You know, you become open, you can talk to girls, you can, you know, it's a lot of fun.
It's fun, yeah.
And me, I love fun.
Yeah.
So that's where it started.
Yeah.
And for me, I know I can be obsessive in my nature. If I find something really good, I get into it like a lot. So now in my early adulthood, drinking was a thing. And I can say I was an expert drinker. People would call up on me like, hey, Joro, what's the plan? And I'd formulate a plan. So I used to be like a center, a hub of fun.
Yeah.
So people call upon you, and they expect you to bring alive that fun.
Yeah.
So that's who you are. So that's how it started, just being that guy. But slowly by slowly, you're experiencing things in your life, even within that.
So there are things that happen to you, is what you were saying.
Yes.
As you're drinking and having a good time, there are things that are happening to you.
Yeah, so you can imagine when you're the center of fun, you're having fun with your people, and then the fun has to end at some point. You go home and you find you have issues at home. You have relationship issues, maybe financial issues. There are all kinds of issues you have at home. So what happens then? You find that you're in pain, and you remember that, if I go drinking, I can forget all these things. So you'll go and you'll find that it changes from having fun to hiding pain.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's where the danger is. And if you can't realize that for yourself, then the cycle will just continue.
Wow. That's really powerful. And I was wondering did you ever feel like that? Like you're having a good time, but then deep down, you're in pain. What was that process like for you?
I had that experience so much. Because again, home was the source of a lot of pain for me. And whenever I could get the opportunity to bring people together to have fun, I took it. So I used to be like Joro, being the guy who mobilized people from all kinds of circles, bring them together. There's a house party here, the guys are going to a club, guys are going to the local. I'm formulating the plan. And when the plan is taking off, I'm there, I'm present, I'm having so much fun. Whether it's dancing, socializing, name it, buying more drinks, even when you don't have the money or you have very little money, you're there, you're doing it all. And then came time to go home. And as I would go home, I'm just like, oh my God, what is this? Oh my God, oh no. And then I'd get home and fine, a good thing you're intoxicated, so you black out. But when you wake up and you're hungovered and you're in that house, all the pain now just sets in. So you don't have energy to move because you're hungry. You don't have an appetite. And then now I used to get a lot of anxiety. So it'd go to points where my anxiety would be, I used to tell you, I used to get chest pains. And that used to last for almost 3-4 days, And then for me, I used to do my drinking Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday, But now there's some days you get tempted, you're like, okay, let me have a drink in the middle of the week. Let me have this. And it was all just to cover pain again, But it gets to points where I think for me, the pain got so much, I had to now make a decision. Do we keep going on with this cycle? Because I can't hide the fact that there's pain. And I'm dealing with this pain with the booze. But now something has to change because I wanted change, but I didn't know how to go about it. Until now, I just said, okay, you know what? Let me try a break and see.
I think I also experienced that same exact kind of emotion, and that was towards 2018, where now it had become the norm. People now, instead of knowing you as a fun guy, they're like, hey, he's a guy who's always cracking, he's always getting. So you find that I found that I had to make a decision. Am I going to stay here and be this person for the rest of my life?
Yeah.
And that's when I made the decision.
And that's really fantastic. These guys have both been sober for some while now. You've been sober for
a year, 8 months.
A year, 8 months, and you.
Okay, I told you I don't count. So
oh yeah.
From September 11, 2018.
I'm so proud of you guys.
So over 2 years.
Yeah.
Well done.
And the interesting thing is that both of you did it very differently.
Yes.
I know you did it by yourself and you had some help. Yeah. So I want to start with you.
Okay.
Did you just wake up and say, I'm never drinking again, and you finished? Like you were done, cold turkey? How was your process?
My process was after a bender. So we had traveled out of town with a few friends for a burial. And then Western culture, anyone from Western, Luo, Kisi, there's that disco matanga kind of situation.
Yeah.
So we got there Friday, we drank until maybe 2-3 in the morning, and then woke up the next day, Saturday, did the burial, then now disco matanga properly, where now you drink after the burial, celebration of the person who's passed on. And then so we drank until again the following morning, probably 2, and then drove back to Nairobi, and then I wasn't ready to go home. So remember, home, source of pain. And I remember around that weekend, the 2 weeks prior to that weekend, there was so much that was going on in my life. Things were all over the place, upside down. So I remember, I know I was struggling a lot with my anxiety, and I was trying to make sense of a lot of things. So when we got to Nairobi, and we got to Nairobi probably around 9 p.m. because I had stopovers along the way that took a bit of time. And anyway, Busia is really far. So when we got to Nairobi, these guys in the car, I'm telling them, okay, we've come back, we're here, we are safe. Can we catch a booze? Yeah, sawa, no problem. So we went to 18, Sunday school. So it turned out that, it's you always tell yourself it's one drink and then you go home, but it's never one drink. Especially when the DJ is playing the most fire jams. Then you meet people you've not met in a long time and you have stuff to talk about. And that's exactly what happened. So we got there, and remember the first thing is usually shots.
Shots, yeah.
So shots, then I settled in with your beers, start socializing and whatnot. Before we knew it, it was 2 a.m. 2 a.m, at that time, I told these guys, I'm the one who drove to Busia, I drove back. Here are the keys. I told my boy, you're the one now to take me home. So we went to his house. His house and ours was not too far at the time. So we went to his house. Unfortunately, man, I feel so bad about this. We had to wake up his wife who was pregnant to follow us home and then now take him now back home. So anyway, that happened. I wake up Monday. I'm hanged. Now you can remember, I've barely slept the last 3 days. The last 2 weeks have been chaotic, so I've also not been sleeping. So all that caught up. I'm hanged, I'm anxious, I'm sleepy. So Monday was in and out of sleep. I woke up Tuesday and I needed to start functioning and doing life. But I was still, sluggish and all that. By the time we got to Wednesday, I called a friend. I told my friend, I need to meet you. So we met for lunch. And I told her, you know what? I can't do this cycle anymore. And especially the fact that the days after drinking, I have a ton load of anxiety that I can't wish away. I can't do breathing exercises to get them away. I can't just call a friend and I'll talk and I'll feel better and it'll go away. This was constant chest pain and racing thoughts that were not going away. So she told me, Edgar, try and take a break and see. I know you've tried this before. So she reminded me of the time I did it in 2018 before my friends passed. So I said, okay, let me try a break and see. So I tried that weekend. I didn't drink. And then I did the next weekend. And I was like, because remember, I only used to drink on weekends. So then I was like, okay, this feeling is, it's something I could get used to. It was infectious. So I just kept on like that. And here we are, 1 year, 8 months later.
That's amazing. That's amazing. For you, I know it's a bit different.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so I think when I started my journey to sobriety in full earnest, when I knew, this was early 2018. So what had happened is I had a podcast with a friend, and it was a bit of a concern because I used to show up for the shoot quite hungover almost every time, and it's something that I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed just talking about sports, So I really enjoyed it, and then I had to part ways with them, and that was one of the reasons. So that it got the ball rolling, and I'd always told myself that, I'm just doing this because I'm young, I can have fun. But now, at the same time, I was having difficulty at my place of work because I was getting frustrated. I was not seeing many career progression. I was getting frustrated, and at the same time, my girlfriend at the time was pregnant. So, without discussing the details of that, I was no longer going to be a father. And at that point, I quit my job because I was so frustrated. This expectation of becoming a father had really given me motivation to do better, to be better. And I asked myself, am I ready to be a father? And I looked at my surroundings, how I'm living. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And in fact, I even called some of my friends over. It was like a, what do you call it?
Intervention.
Like an intervention for myself.
You planned your own intervention.
I hosted it at my mom's place. I told my mom, wait, I need to take control of this drinking. and I don't know how to, and I was afraid of quitting because what do you do when you're sober? It's boring. Yeah. It's so scary.
Yeah, it's scary.
It's the scariest thing. If you've lived your whole adult life drinking every weekend, then now you stop all of a sudden. So I wanted to rein it in. So I called my close friends and we sat in the house. So I'm like, wait guys, how do I stop? How do I at least manage my drinking? Like you guys, you know. So guys are like, maybe don't start with a quarter, earlier, or don't take shots, or maybe have like 5. There are many suggestions. And yeah, maybe I tried for a couple of weeks, but no, it was even getting worse. Yeah, because now I'm not in employment, so I'm doing freelancing. So that means I have 1-2 jobs, and then I come back home. It's Tuesday afternoon, and there's no one really waiting on me. So I decided, this is not working. It's not working. There's a day I woke up. I was supposed to have a meeting in the morning, and the previous night I told myself, Joro, wait, don't you dare drink. And I was being a good boy, so I'm there in the house. I'm like preparing for the meeting, and my phone rings. Then I look at this number. I'm like, let me pick it. I pick this phone call. Guys like, Joro, Ebu just kucha my digs. I have a whiskey. There's some 2 nice girls over here. I'm like, wait, you guys have work tomorrow. Like, no, just kidogo, 2 until 11.
Then you go.
And he sends me a photo. You see, nice photo. I'm like, okay.
Nice photo.
I'm coming. At 3 a.m., I'm there calling a Duthi guy to go see where, buy more booze.
Right.
Yeah. So I go to the house. I go to sleep. I put my phone in the charger. I put my alarm. And then I just to notice I put the phone in the charger, but it's not switched on. So the phone dies. Gafla Binvu, I'm waking up at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. because I'd been drinking the days before. So there was an accumulation. And I told myself, never again. That day, I called my sister. My sister was my neighbor at the time. I called her. I told her, wait, Jerry, I need to quit drinking. And I've tried. I can't do it by myself. I need help. So I called for help. I called my mom, I called my sister, but my sister came over. So when my sister came over, man, I had the deepest conversation I've ever had with her. And I cried my eyes out. I bawled out. And I know, in fact, that day I feel like I mourned my drinking days. I feel like I was so honest with my sister. I've never been honest with anyone like that. So what happened is my sis and my dad organized for me to go to a rehab. And now, within 3 days, they took me to a rehab somewhere in Titwande. And now the story for rehab is
a whole other thing.
That's another monster. But I think that's where now I took it upon myself. But I know that day, when I called my sister, that was the day I quit.
Wow. Yeah. And I think for me, I really liked what you said about you mourned your drinking. Like, you had already made the decision that I'm done, and goodbye alcohol, I'll miss you, but I'm done. Yeah. So, but I know, so in terms of help, I know that you went through rehab, and I know you've done therapy. Has therapy helped you in your sobriety journey?
So, the thing that landed me in therapy was even way when I was still drinking. I've been going to therapy from that was 2015. And then, all the way up to last year. And therapy helped me deal with the things that I was not dealing with when I was drinking. Because for me, I sabotaged a couple, maybe 1 or 2 relationships that for sure between the 2 of them could have had me settling down with one of these people, and at the time, you're caught up in a lot of fun. And then also you are trying not to deal with your pain because the pain is painful. Pain hurts. And when it hurts, you look for the thing that could give you a sense of relief. So for me, drinks and hanging out with people did that for me. Then now I had that conversation with my friend, like I told you, and I just told her, okay, I think I need to put a stop to all this. The cycle is, I didn't even give her a lot of information. But within me, if I was to now tell you guys, there was so much that was happening. You know, I didn't have a good relationship with my sister. At home now, me and my folks, we all had our own dynamic. And then those a couple of friendships here and there that were only just for booze and fun, and that's it. So then now when I got into therapy, and I didn't have an escape, you know, so there's no substances that I'm using on the side. It's just you, your mind, and then the pain. So therapy did help, because now I was still with my mind. There are times when now, I think there's something you mentioned about, what do you do when you don't drink? Because now, man, I'll be boring. So the guys who stopped calling me because this guy didn't drink anymore, what is he coming to do here, kind of thing. Even if they didn't say it to me directly, but it's more or less what was implicated. And then now it's, okay, damn, I'm at home. I've done all the errands I could have run. You know, I've run all of them, I've done them, I've finished. Now I'm at home. And now, because I had so much time in my hands. So days that I used to start maybe at 1 p.m., I was starting my days at 6:30 in the morning.
Whoa.
By 7:30, I'm out of the digs. I'm starting my first errand on a Saturday, which was unheard of, you know, and I'm done by, let's say, midday. And it's by midday, it's not I'm done. And then, okay, Joro, what's up? What's the plan? It's, I'm going home. Then it's me sitting with my mind and, oh my God, I didn't deal with this. This came up, this comes up, it strikes up anxiety, maybe on and off depression here and there, anger, heart, a lot of stuff. So therapy did give me an avenue to listen to all this pain, to all the voices that were coming in my, because I used to get so many voices in my head. And then to top that off, I'm an overthinker. So that, and then now you top it off with anxiety. It's an explosion, but I made sense out of all that and started packaging things where they belonged. And then now, you know, slowly just started getting better.
And for you, while you were in rehab, what did the addiction counselors do? Because that's what they're called, isn't it? Did you find them helpful, or was it still Joro getting himself out of the situation? How was your rehab experience, in short?
Okay, for me, when I entered into rehab, before I got into rehab, I had done extensive research. I really wanted to know what kind of place I'm going to and who I'm entrusting my future to. And I got to learn that rehabs have an especially dreadful failure rate.
70%.
70 to 80%. And I was like, if it were any institution, if it was a school, would you take your kid to a school where they have a 70% failure?
No way.
So I was very skeptical about rehab and what they're teaching in there. But I knew when I was going there, I was not going to give myself to them for them to do whatever process. I was going there to seek some kind of assistance in the battle that I was going to do with myself. I knew I was going to war with myself. And I knew this war could not be fought in my home where I was in the same exact circumstances. Because I knew if I was doing that at home, in fact, it was one of my closest friends' weddings that week. And I knew it was going to be crazy. So I knew I have to get away from this situation that I've been living in. I have to go to a closed environment where first I can't access my friends, I can't access alcohol. I just need to be myself. So when I got in there, there's a lot of messaging that does help from these counselors. But there's one thing that they said that struck me very bad. And when I say this, I say it in a personal sense.
Okay.
Where they ask you to claim to say that you're powerless to alcohol. And I've never refused something so vehemently. I shocked the whole place. Yeah, because I asked this guy, what do you mean I'm powerless to alcohol? How can I be powerless to something that can't speak? Just a substance.
That's big.
Yeah, what is this you're telling me? I'm made in the image of God. And the reason why I'm here is because I have power enough to see that there is an issue. So don't tell me I'm powerless. And for me, being the kind of competitor that I am, I felt now I had something to prove. And I was like, you can't tell me I'm powerless. And that was the beginning of the strategy that I took towards sobriety. I decided that I'm going to challenge the power of this alcohol. What do you mean I'm powerless? And that's what I said. To me, I said that I'm going to face it. I'm not going to change my life. That I become that person who can't go to a club, I can't go to any function with alcohol. You know, every time people are like, Njoro is an alcoholic, so why did they? No. You know, I don't want to pussyfoot around people now and have that stench of, you know, because I've come into this rehab knowing that I have some kind of stench on me. Like, guys are like, this guy is an alcoholic. These are some, you know, the people say that, hey, Njoro is smart, but I needed to eliminate that. But now, I can't come from that to now being at, hey, you get an Njoro, you don't put alcohol.
No way.
That's not who I am. So so when someone tells me that I'm powerless to something, I didn't believe it, because I knew I'm the one who gave this alcohol that power, and I have the power to take it away. So for me to take it away, what do I need to do? I needed to solve the issues that are core to why I drink. And number one was, for me, I felt I'd become a very selfish person. All my money is for me and my fun. All my time is for me and my fun. So I knew when I was coming out, I had to change that. I had to become a person of service to others. And I've dedicated my life towards that. And it has given me such a feeling of contentment that I don't, when I think about that Njoro used to drink, I find it laughable. I find it laughable that I was that person, because I can be who I am right now and extract joy from the world where I'm not running away from anything. Actually, I'm running towards the things that are difficult.
Wow.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up, and I really appreciate you guys for being so honest and for you finally sharing your story. I know you've talked about it very openly, but this is his first time talking about it. So I'm so proud of you.
Big up.
I wanted to just finish up. You know this song, the Sauti Soul song for When I Get Sober? Yeah? Z. I'll share the song with you. But basically, he's saying all the things he'll do when he gets sober. He's like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do this. Do you feel like your life is much better since you've been sober? And I know it's a very simple question, but are there things you've said, anyway, this is only possible because I'm sober? Like, I can see these tangible things since I've been sober. I'll start with you.
Yes, and I will answer that by saying, through sobriety, I have listened to myself. I have literally slowed down time and listened to myself, because I've always had so much that I keep thinking and wanting to do, but I'm always I'm always busy with the world, you know. And I see for Njoro, we're even talking earlier, and you're saying how for him sobriety has now got him to be of service to others. I have now, mine is the other way around. I've become of service to myself first, after spending so many years being of service to others. And then now, with being service to myself, I've listened to myself, I've gotten to love myself a little bit more and appreciate all even the mistakes that I've made, and then now turn that into, you know, something laughable, and now be able to present myself to the world in a manner that I appreciate personally to myself, and then now, you know, to others.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. What about you?
For me, 100%, yes. The life I'm living right now, there's nothing you can do to make me go back. As in, I feel I've reached a point where I know what my purpose is on this earth. I know where I'm going. I can see it clearly. And at no point am I interrupted or corrupted by alcohol. So for me, I've gotten to a place where I'm so confident in what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing. I'm passionate about the things I do for fun. And especially that. I don't need substances to have fun. When from a child, my mom told me I always used to dance and in everywhere.
Yeah.
And that person has come back. You'll see me, I'll go out all the time and I'll dance like the craziest guy there.
Yeah.
And I haven't had any substance. It's because I've come back to who I am.
Wow.
And I don't need anything to realize who I am. And I thank God, and I thank my family, and I thank my close friends who have been there for me. And you've been there for me also. So thank you also.
Oh my gosh. My heart is so, so warmed by this. And for me, as somebody who works with people who are struggling with so many substances, I see guys relapsing and it breaks my heart.
Yeah.
And so you guys, I want you to know I am rooting for you. And I didn't even bring you here using you for content. I wanted you guys to share your story so that someone who's watching, there's someone who's struggling with these things, so that they can feel, you know what, I can be like that guy.
Yeah.
And if you're that person who is struggling with something, please reach out. You don't have to reach out to me. You can go to any healthcare facility and just tell them you need help. But if you specifically need help from me, please DM me, post in the comment section, and I'll get back to you. And I just want you to know that it's possible. You can be sober, you can defeat that thing. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Remember to like and especially to share, because maybe you might share and somebody who needs this video might see this and be like, wow, I really needed this, And to subscribe as well so that you can see other videos that I'm doing related to mental health and wellness. Once again, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Bye.
Ciao.